Hi, I'm Lynn Bridgeford from iBios, and today in our series on mental health and coaching, we're going to be looking at kindness. So what is kindness? Kindness as a noun is described as being considerate, helpful, generous and friendly. It is selfless, caring, unconditional. So what is kindness and why do we do it and what would we do it for? We all know that when somebody behaves kindly towards us, that we feel good. Now there is a basis for this because being kind to someone can make you feel good. When someone is kind to you, it helps raise the serotonin levels, the dopamine levels and the oxytocin. So that's the feel good, the calm and the love. And this has been proven. So kindness helps to reduce the stress hormones, which are cortisol. When we experience kindness, whether it's from a stranger or someone we know, it makes us feel good and it raises our dopamine levels. That's the feel-good neurotransmitter inside the body. It also raises the oxytocin, which is the feeling of being loved. And it raises our serotonin levels. So serotonin is that neurotransmitter that in the day helps us feel calm and at night helps us sleep better. So we could say if everybody was kind, the world would be a better place. And there are slogans around that say, if you can be anything, be kind. Another biochemical response of experienced kindness is that it decreases our cortisol levels. Now cortisol are the stress levels. So if everybody was kind, just take one act of kindness each day randomly to someone else, then you're going to feel better because we tend as humans to feel good when we make other people feel good. And you're going to spread a little bit of kindness around the world and let that infect other people. So the stress levels come down, the feel good, the happy, the calm levels come up. That's got to be a great thing. So with the definition of kindness, when it comes to being friendly, it only really works if it's genuine. Because if somebody's friendly to us, have a good day, and they don't mean it, we kind of sense that. It doesn't make us feel good. If we're walking down the street and a stranger says something nice to us, gives us a compliment in a non-threatening way, may just say, wow, you look great, and walk on by, that's going to lift our spirits, make us feel good, and make us feel great. That's simple. Or somebody walks past us and smiles in a kindly, friendly way. It's so simple. Watch what happens if you go out in the world and just smile at people. Generally, they will smile back, as long as you're doing it from your heart and from a feeling of wanting to be kind. So being considerate isn't about being a walkover, being a pushover and doing what everybody else wants and putting your own needs aside. People know when someone is genuine. We generally know if somebody's intentions are well meant. And being considerate could be thinking of someone and being helpful. There's a fine line in how we take ourselves out in the world when we help someone who isn't in need of help and doesn't appreciate help. It's a different thing to feeling what is a genuine way of helping. So what are random acts of kindness? You may make a meal for your neighbour who lives alone and perhaps doesn't always eat as well as they should. And you may help somebody when they're ill, pick up their children, do some shopping for them. We've seen some great examples of this in the past years where people have come out in the best of themselves and helped other people. Being grateful and thanking someone may in itself be a way of being kind. I often find when I compliment somebody on how they've handled me on the telephone, for example, they sound surprised and delighted. Now, I believe it's good to give feedback to people when something isn't quite right and it can be done in a positive way, and also to feedback when somebody's done something good. It makes their day, you can hear it in their voice, and it is kind. Sometimes being kind can be welcoming the new person in the job, the new person in the neighbourhood, taking time, giving people your time, being generous. And being generous isn't about giving away what you can't or being a martyr. Being generous is giving somebody some of your time, listening, helping them with something, sharing something of yourself that somebody else needs and will be grateful for. Another way of being kind is by recognizing people and complimenting them and acknowledging who they are in their best selves. Respect is a form of kindness because it's also with people being seen. If they're respected, they feel seen and acknowledged. Gratitude is another form of kindness, being grateful for what we have and what other people give us, acknowledges them in a kind way as well. Seeing the good in others is a way of being kind. So if you were to take a choice of something that you could easily, genuinely do, that would spread a little bit of kindness once a day, at least. Think about whether you could smile, offer somebody some help somebody who's struggling across the road, or somebody who's struggling with their shopping, help a neighbour, help a friend. Acknowledge people, say kind things, and not just because you think you should. Find kind things to say that you actually mean, and watch the ripple effect of what goes out around you and in your life. Because there is this kind of karma that what you put out comes back. So if we put out kindness, we put out positivity, we put out a way of loving people with kindness, it's got to come back. So experiment, let me know how you get on. There's a song I love that's all about kindness. It's written by a beautiful lady called Jewel. It's called Hands. Actually, it's about kindness. I'm going to read it to you, taking out the repeats, because I think it's beautiful and it is all about kindness. If I could tell you one thing, it would be that we're all okay. And not to worry, because worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I won't be made useless. I won't be idle with despair. I will gather myself around my faith, for light does the darkness most fear. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. I am never broken. We are never broken. Poverty stole your golden shoes. It didn't steal your laughter. And heartache came to visit me, but I knew it wasn't ever after. We'll fight, not out of spite, for someone must stand up for what's right. 'Cause when there's a man who has no voice, there's our shall go singing. In the end, only kindness matters. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. We are God's eyes, God's hands, God's heart, God's mind. I think the mentioning of light and dark and God is not necessarily to be seen as a religious thing. It's purely about life and about kindness and speaking out for others who have no voice in a particular moment is also kind. Let me know how you get on with your random acts of kindness and how it makes your day feel better. Let's change the chemistry of everyone around us and make it a happier world to be in. Thank you so much.